So here I am today. I hope you're doing well. It's been an interesting week. Have you been doing any art at all? Sometimes it gets really tough to get in the studio and really focus in on it. But as I said to you the other day, it can be so grounding for me. This morning I went in and I'm working on some cicada wings, and it just felt so good to be using my hands and creating something. I'm on this path right now, and the path is in northwestern Santa Fe. It's very near an area that we humorously call Dumpe Vista, where they dumped a lot of our garbage for a long time, and now it's gotten all bulldozed over. But you can see out here, there are a lot of trees out here. I don't know if you can hear that raven over there. See him flying? Can you see him flying up here? It's funny, today's been one of those days where every time I go outside, there's a raven out there, and it feels like he's personally talking to me. I could be wrong about this. Do you think this guy's checking out to see what I'm doing? Man, I love those birds. Of course, I have a raven tattoo. Anyways, back on the trail, I'm going stick hunting. Look at this anthill. This is pretty interesting. I don't know if you can see this, but on this anthill, which is not active yet, there's some coyote scat. And coyote scat, to me, it looks like they've been eating juniper berries, which are blue. And when they come out, they seem to be a dark red. Now think about this. Think about eating juniper berries. I don't know if you've ever tasted them. They're bitter, they're intense, but for coyotes, they must have a lot of vitamins and energy. Look, I'm gonna come up on a juniper berry. I don't know if you can see it. And you know what's cool to do is to take it and then crush it and smell it. Oh my gosh, that's New Mexico. You know, that smell is New Mexico. Look at this over here. You're looking south towards Albuquerque, and over here are the Sandia Mountains, which are very beautiful in their own right. So I'm on the trail of trying to find the perfect stick. And if any of you have followed my career at all, I got into this somewhat serendipitously. About 15 years ago, I was curating a show, a group of artists at St. John's College, and they asked me to do a piece. I hadn't done any artwork in 30 years. So I went to my backyard and I put together a figure from old sticks, rags, wire, wrapped it all together, and that's how all of this started. So the sticks were kind of like the first material that I incorporated in my sculptures. Back then they were figurative works. What about you? You know, I've been thinking a lot about my passage of time to basically be where I am today. And it's this cumulative thing of all these things that happened to me during my lifetime. And I bet you have a similar story. It's funny, in doing this video journaling, I'm telling you a lot about me, and I'm wanting things from you, but I know that you and I right now can't talk because you're in your studio, I'm out here. But if we were together, we'd be talking about inspirations, how we got going, what else we've done in our lives, how we ended up being creative types now. Do you ever think about what the dots were that you had to connect to get to where you are now? And then what about your own journey in the landscape? The landscape's been so important to me through the years. I had a teepee for a while, lived in a teepee, had a teepee, been very lucky to do that. Okay, I think I spy a nice juniper. The interesting thing about, I mainly use junipers because the branches are pretty tough. And when I mainly find the dead branches, I find them on the east side of the tree. And I've thought about it. Why do you think that the dead parts of a tree would be on the east side? And they're usually about a year old. And it's interesting to think, I know that the weather comes in from the west, so maybe it has something to do with the western parts of the tree are stronger, the eastern sides, I don't know, for some reason it's like they shed their branches. It's like this real living creature that kind of sheds its branches and then it grows something else, and the weather really affects, you know, what's going to grow and what isn't going to grow and what's going to be shed off. Some of you know that my whole life I've been involved with wood on some basis. When I was a kid, I painted trees, then I became a furniture maker. And now I'm working with trees, and sometimes I think maybe in a past life I was a tree. Now, I know I'm not really that kind of a person, but it is a real funny kind of connection through my life. And you know what? I love wood. Wood has to be my favorite medium. So look at this branch right here, which is really, look at the nice kind of curve. Like, so what I see in here is I see the curve of a seabird, maybe like an albatross that you could kind of put this end and that end, and then you'd have, and if you had 6 of these pieces of wood, you wired them together, then you put some wings that had the same, basically almost the same curve on them that this has. You've got this wonderful bird. And then I don't know if you guys can see the grain here. It's like skin. So this branch, let me break it. Oh, what a great sound. Kind of that nice crisp breaking of a strong tree branch. Whoever thought I would say a line like that? Here's some more gorgeous branches over here. Here's a very nice one. I know it sounds funny, but I do thank the trees for allowing me to get branches to put in my sculptures. Sounds a little new agey, I know, but it's kind of just something I've gotten into. Oh, nice branches in here. So I'm collecting some sticks, and then I'm also just reading the landscape here, which is really fun to do. I took a tracking class about 6 years ago to read things on the ground, and from this guy John Stokes. It was pretty interesting. Now look over here, there's a little arroyo here, a little sandy arroyo. I see some tracks in it. I don't know if you can see them. You can see a dog track there. Can you see that? And I think I see some rabbit tracks in here. Here's a pretty pronounced track here. Over here, it looks like more of an animal trail. And then you can see rain. You can see how the rain has really puckered up this sandy soil. Very nice. What a beautiful day. So what sort of things have you been looking for lately? You know, you're not like me, you don't need sticks, but you probably need to go to the art store, right? Not handling that very well. The art store, and ideas maybe for collages, for paintings, for I don't know, whatever medium you're in. We're all kind of on this quest, aren't we? And we're constantly on it. And I think one of the reasons we're on that quest, I know for me, is the quest gives me a reason to be curious about things, you know, to also spark ideas for me, because sometimes when I find a new material, it'll spark a new idea for me, or a new image, or I read a new book, or I meet a new person, like meeting you guys in workshops. Boy, that's such an inspiration for me. Other creative types, I mean, how can we go wrong? Man, it is gorgeous today. So I'm sure that you've gone on your own quest, and you continue to go, and hopefully it grounds you the way it grounds me. And hopefully it, you know, allows you to develop these great ideas and keep you going with that real creative endeavor and that creative trip that we're all on. Anyways, I've enjoyed walking out here with you today, showing you what I feel about the landscape, what it means to me, what being in trees means to me, and just taking a break from it all.